Good morning. Very happy to be here again, to meet all of you here. The Dharma discussion is very important for the speaker, both speaker and the listener, not only for the listener, for the speaker also, because it's kind of like reminding myself what I'm supposed to do and what proper attitude that I need to be cultivated and what the principle of Buddha Dhamma that I should carry on in everyday life. So, whatever you call teaching or discussion or sharing, it's still very important as a reminding to all of us what is the genuine the Buddha Dhamma is. Subject, there are all kinds of subjects in Buddha Dhamma. Refuge, bodhicitta, Four Noble Truths, loving kindness, compassion, wisdom, etc. All the noble qualities of the body, speech, mind. Through the cultivating those qualities lead us to the final realization. Without cultivation, one cannot achieve the freedom or enlightenment, whatever we call. But today, the subject is karma. It's a Sanskrit term which means action of intention. Without intention, motivation, there is no karma as an agent. Involves, then create all kinds of things. It's a very profound subject. Not only profundity, it is essential teaching. It is the principle, it is the foundation of the Buddha Dhamma. Because of this, Buddha Shakyamuni, his first training the wheel of Dhamma is Four Noble Truths in Varanasi. It does not mean that the Four Noble Truths teaching is very simple, easy. That's why he did perform this teaching in Varanasi. Because of the profundity of the Four Noble Truths, that he realizes without the base on these Four Noble Truths, one cannot approach to any other Dhamma practices. It's a kind of a main gate or main entrance. Therefore, he performed the teaching of the Four Noble Truths, symbolizes the karma. The truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering. These two indicated cause and the effect of samsara. The next is the cessation, truth of the cessation, and the path to the cessation. These two indicate the cause and effect of nirvana. It's a very interesting subject and a very profound practice. Technically speaking, you call natural laws of the causality. That's technical speaking. But practically, whatever you call, it really doesn't matter. It is something there is, regardless whether the Lord Buddha has taught or not. And this karmic action is the principle of the virtuous action, non-virtuous action, the both. It is the foundation. Because of this, we have to be careful in our daily life. Why Buddha and the Bodhisattvas or great Pandits in India, like Shantideva, repeatedly taught us, be mindful. Why? Because of karma. We do need accumulate merit because of karma. We do need to purify our negativities because of the karma. We have to be careful in our daily life because of the karma. Each and every activities of the body, speech, mind need to be associated along with the mindfulness and the cautiousness and the carefulness because of the power of karma and karmic action. It follows everywhere, wherever we go, the karma follows. We cannot escape simply from the karma until we are totally free from the confusion. As long as we are in the state of the duality, then the karma is there. It should be there, and it has to be there. It does not mean that we have to be scared of karma and the karmic action. We have to appreciate with the karmic action because of the karma that we can develop. And I can develop myself. I can correct myself. I can observe myself. I can be mindful of myself. And I can instruct myself. I can change myself because of the karma. So we have to be very appreciate with the karma. Tibetan word, it's called le. Le means function. It's a function. It is a functioning. It is a functioning according to your intention and your motivation. It's so interesting. It's a special mechanism in the sense of in our daily life. Which way you want to direct is up to you, definitely. But we must not forget the karma is there always. As a supporter, as a reminder, as a friend, or as an enemy. Choices are upon individuals. Designed by naturally, not by Buddha. Karma is designed by naturally. not by Buddha. Buddha has given us introduction, how the karma is functioning, or how does karma exist, and how does karma cooperate with us. Karma is on the both level of the gross and the subtle. These subtle levels can be seen or experienced by Buddha only, not even the Bodhisattvas on the 10th level, because it's too subtle. So, long time back in Tibet, those great masters, the first teaching, the first instruction is the karma. If somebody wants to take refuge, say that I want to become a Buddhist practitioner and I want to take a refuge, the masters don't simply accept your request. They will give you a very thorough lesson to reflect on cause and effect. Let you practice, let you examine, and let you reflect on for a week or even months. Once you experience somehow that you believe the cause and effect, the relation, and you have a very interest to learn it, then only master ask you come back, then give you refuge vow. Very systematic way of training the students, not like nowadays, simply you ask and then master will say, yes, come. If you have a time now, okay, I will give you now refuge vow. So after giving the refuge vow, the both say bye-bye, never meet up each other. No correspondence, no discussion, no contact. And the master don't care what you do, and you don't care also master what will think. Not such case was in the past. Very, very intensive and very profound the subject, and they do care very seriously about the lesson of karma. Therefore, as a Buddhist, we say we are Buddhist, and myself also I said I'm a Buddhist. What is our principle? It's not just simply say that I pay refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. This does not indicate that you are a genuine Buddhist practitioner at all. I don't think so. It's not enough. Simply keeping the image of a Buddha, Dharma, Sangha at home does not indicate that you are a genuine Buddhist practitioner. Buddhist practitioner means someone whose mind is completely combined with the knowledge of cause and effect. The individual who is totally and fully experienced the karma, cause and effect. Based on this knowledge, based on this understanding, based on this, the knowledge, experience, if you take refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, then you are a genuine Buddhist practitioner. Nothing to do with the realization of emptiness, nothing to do with the realization of something. Realization of karma and effect is the principle of Buddhism and the Buddhist practice. Kadamba masters, therefore, they keep distance from the people, crowd, live in the isolated, solitary retreat, and always cry, cover their head with the robe, and cry simply. Why? Atisha says they are genuine Mahayana practitioner. They are genuine Buddhist practitioner. Because why they cry? Because they reflect on the suffering, pain, miseries of sentient beings. Buddha himself, technically speaking, renunciation, right? You call renunciation, which means try to free from the samsara, try to free from the cause of samsara. And in English called renunciation. Actually, this term is not enough. Tibetan word is called Nyenpa. Nyenpa, Tibetan word, has 3 different categories. One is the base, one is the path, the another is the achievement. With these 3 different categories, one should practice the renunciation. Base, from where? Means from. Then the path, then the where. These 3. Simple. From where? And the path, and then to where. Like a traveler, passengers, from where? From which country? And now, where are you? Must be in the space, right? Or on the road. And then next is, where are you going to arrive? So these 3. From where? From samsara. Samsara is not place or country. Samsara is not somewhere. Samsara is confusion itself. Confusion and a dualistic mental attitude. Confusion. We are in the state of confusion. That's why we accumulate more non-virtuous action. Everyday life. From the morning to the evening, every day we are accumulating negativities instead of positivities. We are accumulating non-virtuous action instead of virtuous action, bodily, verbally, mentally. More serious is the mental, not verbally and bodily. That's why we call confusion, English, Tibetan word Nyenpa. So the samsara, from where? Like we escape from prison, right? Nobody wants to stay in a prison. Nobody enjoys. Because why they don't enjoy in prison? Because they feel the prison is not the state of freedom. There is no relaxation in the prison, bodily and mentally. Tightening there. Unwillingly you are stuck there. Choicelessly you are stuck there. No free. Nobody wants you let free, and I myself also cannot free myself. Likewise, we are in the state of confusion, which is a prison you call samsara, the cyclic existence. Cycling, right? Cycling never can get out of this confusion. Why I cannot get out of this confusion? Because we accumulate the cause of confusion, cause of suffering, cause of misery. In our daily life, you can observe our actions, bodily, verbally, mentally. If you observe, and you will surely know. But only thing is because we are so careless, very careless. When we listen to Dhamma teaching, or when you are in the state of a meditation, of course somehow that you have a sense, I'm supposed not to do this, I'm supposed to abandon this, I'm supposed to accumulate this, I'm supposed to adopt this, I'm supposed to accumulate this and that. But because of the negative habitual tendencies from the beginning list of this samsara, and one cannot, you always fail. Out of meditation, you've gone back to same habit. Out of the teaching, while you are in the teaching, you listen, you reflect, you contemplate on, you meditate on, yes, you can sense, yes, I shouldn't do this, I should do this, I shouldn't do this, I should do that. But then out of the teaching, you've gone back to same habit, the same routine. Why? Because of the lack of carefulness, lack of mindfulness, and the lack of cautiousness, lack of training, lack of practice, lack of continuity of your practice. So, that's why karma is so profound. If you want to escape from the prison or from the place where you don't like to stay there any longer, then the only option to us is to try to escape with any means. That's the only option. You cannot simply imagine escaping, running from the prison, walking from the prison. You can imagine all kinds of things, but this does not mean this imagination helps you to get out of this prison. Means you have to take the action. You have to follow your imagination. You have to do something. So therefore, experience of the misery, pain, suffering is called in Sanskrit samsara. Tibetan word korwa. Korwa means cycling. Like in Mala, in the rosary. Keep rounding and rounding and rounding. Likewise, we are wandering in this samsara. Could not get out. We know how to get out of it, but we cannot simply because of we are not trying all our best. We are keep failing our effort, our attempt. So, from where? From the confusion state. Confusion of mind. Mental confusion. We have so many confusions. We have a confusion in our daily life. We have a confusion with the family matters. We have a confusion with the relatives. We have a confusion with our daily job. We have a confusion for everything. And we have a confusion even within the Buddha Dharma practice. We keep learning, we keep meditating, we keep practicing, we keep studying, yet still confusion. Obviously, practice, training should help us to change or to transform. But opposite, we do practice, meditate, yet increase more confusion instead of change, instead of transforming. Practice makes us more proud, more anger, more increasing our afflictions and the confusions. We are not blaming on the practitioners. We are simply blaming on our negative imprints and habit. It's not as simple as what we imagine to get rid of or to root out this fundamental ignorance, which is very difficult. Of course, we know that. It's so difficult. Look at the life story of a Buddha. read the life story of Nyenpa, and read the life story of those great masters in the past. If it is simple, easy, sure they shouldn't have wasted their time. They can achieve their goal in short period of time. But it is a different story. So therefore, to escape from where? Escape from the confusion. Therefore, Tibetan word Nge Jung. Renunciation is a technical word, still beautiful, but not as profound as Tibetan word Nge Jung. Nge is certainty or determination. Nge, Tibetan word Nge. Nge means a certainty or determination. We have to be very determined when we do practice to overcome this coming action. No longer practitioners want to keep this coming action. As long as the coming action is within us, there is no freedom. So therefore, Nge, determination is needed, certainty is needed. Jung has three different meanings. One, from. The other one is the effort. The last one is the achievement. From, so we have to know why we are doing Dhamma practice, why we are learning, why we are studying, why we are meditating, and why we are doing Dhamma practice. And we know this samsara, the dualistic mental attitude, this state of confusion is not favorable option. Because it is unpleasant. It is an unfavorable situation which I want to give up. Beginners still lacking to combat directly the negativities and negative actions. Skillful means we have to walk through step by step. Number one, we have to guard our sensories, guard our mind and faculties. As I said a week ago, recognition. Recognition helps you to guard our mind. It's not time for us to tackle the root of samsara. We cannot. We are still lacking the methods, the power. So cannot tackle directly, cannot combat directly to the emotions or confusion. Therefore, the skillful means our great masters in India, Tibet, those highly realizer beings instructed us that guarding our faculties, guarding our mind, and guarding our attitude. It's so important to reduce or to subdue the certain degree of coming action. We need to guard. That refers to the practice of mindfulness, isn't it? How do you define the meaning of mindfulness? It's guarding. Simply we are guarding. We cannot guard our others. We guard ourselves. You call mindfulness. So, first step is guarding our mind with the mindfulness, with the cautiousness. Have to be very mindful. It's so important. When you hear mindfulness, it's so simple. Everybody talk about it. It's not really special subject of Buddha Dhamma. In our daily life, in modern technique and modern society, people talk about mindfulness. But definition is totally different. How to become mindful? So, guard. When you are alone at home, we have to guard. When you are with your friends, we have to guard our mind. When I do something, I have to guard my mind. In this mundane worldly life, you talk about the mindfulness, but don't know how to deal with the confusion, isn't it? When confusion comes to you, you don't know how to deal with the confusion, so that means your mindfulness is failed. Those great Indian Pandits, the Indian great masters like Shantideva or Chandrakirti, their the definition of the mindfulness is something that is totally guarding yourself. Make sure external factors do not affect you so badly. So therefore, guarding is the first step. And the more you do this practice, the guarding our own faculties and the mind and the sensories, less and less chance to the external factors to affect you. This means you are trying to keep distance from the negativities and external obstacles or unexpected situation. Lack of this, in everyday life, we do have so many obstacles unexpectedly and with unforeseen, right? You don't want, and I don't want obstacles, yet we do have obstacles. Why? Because of lack of mindfulness and lack of guarding my mind. It's a simple subject, but yet it's difficult when you apply it. So in the practice, actualization is so important that rather than intellectual understanding, theoretical understanding, and the spiritual understanding is not enough. We have to work together. We have to make a connection so extensively and so profoundly. But without external factors, we cannot apply mindfulness anyway. Simply talking about the subject of karma and the karma is not enough. That's something we have to sense and experience the function of karma in our daily life. For this, we need to deal with the situation, the external factors. We have a pleasant situation, we have an unpleasant situation, we have a favorable circumstances, we have unfavorable circumstances, one after another, always, right? So needed, these are object to the practitioner, be helpful to understand what is the true factor in the state of the karmic function. So, guarding. Second step, once you are well guarded our mind, then apply the remedy. Then we can tackle the fundamental, underlying, fundamental, powerful ignorance. Gampopa says, beginners not yet capable to tackle the root of samsara. Beginners, the most important practice is to deal with the situation, to be guarding our mind, and to be careful is the prime practice for the beginners. But we expect too high, isn't it? Like today I become Buddhist, just take a refuge. Tomorrow I want to practice Mahamudra. And the day after tomorrow I want to enlightenment. Our expectation is like that. something we don't look down, we always look up. We don't see the refuge, we don't see the Four Noble Truths, we don't see the practical studies. And we want to hear Mahamudra teaching, Mahāti teaching, the Madhyamika teaching, emptiness, shunyata, profundity, something extraordinary subject that we are looking for. Still good, but can you manage to carry it on? Difficult. Why? No foundation. We need foundation, solid foundation to build a solid building. Otherwise, the building will be collapsed after some time. In order to build a solid building, we must need solid foundation. Solid foundation is the knowledge of cause and effect. And the tackle or the work with the emotion. Then it's everyday life. We still need mindfulness, right? When you apply remedies, we still need mindfulness. Without mindfulness, and we will be failed. Those applications. Number 3, then achieved. So that has given by the Shantideva and the Chandrakirti, these 3 categories. So there is a strong connection between karma and a person, individuals, right? Karma and the emotion, karma and the person, and the karma and the natural, karma and the principle. But now we have to think between the karma, connection between the karma and the person, individual and a being. Our expectation or desire or hope is to be attained, to attain the enlightenment, the freedom. Everybody wants freedom, isn't it? Everybody wants freedom. I want freedom, you want freedom, and nobody wants to be suffered. Nobody wants to be wandered in this panic samsara. Everybody wants to get out of this panic samsara. And everybody wants to be free, and everybody wants to be happy. So, I understand, but I don't know. When I hear teaching, yes, sounds interesting. When I hear about the karma and the effect, they're talking about the samsara and they're talking about the nirvana. Very interesting. Very interesting. From his ring. It's from samsara. Call from samsara. Then, so, I hope it's called from nirvana. So, anyhow, what I'm trying to tell you is now, because of the the connection between the person and karma, right? So I want to be freed from the samsara, I want to be free from the pain and the suffering, and I want to enlighten, I want to be happy, I want to be ultimately happy, I want to achieve the ultimate happiness. But this is my hope and my expectation, but then how to do, you have to know, right? How to do. And then, as a method, as a training, we have to work with the karma. we have to have a rich knowledge of the karma. And we have to deal with the karma. As long as the karma is there, definitely there is no liberation. Ultimate liberation means that you are able to transform the karma into wisdom fully and completely. So, the connection between the person and the karma is inseparable. If you do negative things, and if you accumulate negative things, and if you do non-virtuous action, then the samsara is there. So it's totally up to person, because of the connection with the karma is there. As I said, the karma follows you everywhere. If you do virtuous action, if you do good things, then the liberation is there. So everything fundamentally functions by karma alone. Emotion. Buddhists defined two different types of emotion. One emotion that does not have a reason or intellect. That is called like our negative emotion, hatred, jealousy, anger. No need intellectual, isn't it? No need reason. No need principle. You just get angry and then you shout and you accuse, you abuse and you criticize others. No need principle, reason. It's a baseless. No wisdom, no reason. That is we call the no reason emotion. But other emotion has a good reason, like a compassion, loving kindness, good heart, good moral, good attitude, loving, caring. All are emotion, but good emotion, because this has wisdom, this has intellect, this has a good reason. With the reason, with the intellect, with the thorough examination, with the principle, you can develop compassion. Slowly, along with the power of wisdom, one can transform all the negativities into the noble qualities. Therefore, this emotion has solid reason and principle. Anger, jealousy are emotion, yet these emotions do not have reason, intellect. So therefore, karma is also related and strongly connected to the emotion also. Emotion connected to the person. So these three, person, emotion, and a karma. So interesting. As a practitioner, we are not abandoned or try to give up or try to combat or diminish karma. As a practitioner, we appreciate, accept the karma, and then how to design the karma. That's totally individual. Karma, somebody says, karma dominate individuals, which is not true. We dominate karma. So we have to first guarding our faculties, mind, then the tackling the fundamental root of samsara, then try to transform. So for this, we need intellect, thorough training, and a full of mindfulness and actualization. It's so important. We appreciate karma. We do need karma. Without karma, cannot function, cannot practice, cannot meditate. Giving an example, like negative action, the first anger, then main execution of act, right? Then satisfied or satisfactory, the moment. These three, there are three different stages. The first is motivation or intention, where you accumulate karma, negative karma. Start from the motivation, not main execution of act. It's a start from the motivation, simply motivation and intention. With the anger, or with the jealousy, or with the pride, or with the whatever afflictive emotion. But then, you can't simply say, this is my karma, right? We all want to say, oh, this is my karma, sorry. Yeah, this is my karma, I'm sorry. Good excuse with the karma. You can do something to change, like anger, then action, but at the same time, if you feel regret, means you don't like what you did. You don't like your motivation, you don't like your intention, therefore you don't like your action, the action of the body or verbally. Then the decrease. Then it helps you to decrease, because you have not completed all these three, right? Because there is no satisfaction. If the satisfaction follows, then, which means you have the fully accumulated karma. So therefore, a remedy is so important. Application is so important. Telling myself what I'm doing is not right, what I'm doing is not good, is important. It needs to be applied in every practice. Therefore, confession is coming, isn't it? We confess. Otherwise, confession is for what? Can confess with the sense of or experience of the regret. Have to be very regretful. I am regretful what I did. I am regretful with my intention, negative intention. I'm regretful with my negative motivation. Therefore, I'm regretful with action. Therefore, I confess. So, reduce the power of negative karmic action very much. Whereas someone started with the motivation of negativities, then the action, and third, satisfaction. I satisfied what I did. I satisfied with my motivation. I satisfied with my negative action, right? So that means we have the one course is totally completed, culminated. So completion is there. So therefore, we call this because of this, then the result of the karma is there. So, in accumulation of merit and the purification of negativity means the regretfulness is needed. Shantideva says, the regretfulness is one of the best tools to the practitioners to overcome these shortcomings. So regretfulness. But in fact, we are sometimes too proud what I did instead of confess it. Even I did wrong thing, I seldom say I did wrong. I always say maybe I'm right. I deny. I try to deny. I want to deny. Because power of confusion, the power of the negative emotion. Nobody says, very seldom people would say that I did wrong, I'm sorry. Very seldom. The most of the people will say that I'm right. So this shows there's no confession, no purification. If we apply the regretness, forgiveness, then this is the best method of the purification, rather than just chanting the 100-syllable letters. We believe that Dorje Sempa Vajrasattva is like an agent for you to purify negativities sending from Buddha. So you worshipping Vajrasattva, offering some bowls of this, the waters and the flower and the light lamps and incense, say that I'm going to do practice over you, so make sure you help me to purify it. But I'm not sure, tomorrow I will accumulate negative again, but you have to continue help me to purify. It's not the way you purify negativities. The purification of negativity alone, associate along with the wisdom. In order to develop the wisdom, you have to have all these qualities: regretfulness, forgiveness, understand which is not right, and you tell yourself, I'm doing not right. And a recognition of your own fault and mistake is the principle in order to purify our negativities. So, ultimate responsibility to overcome all these unexpected situations, these panic situations, unwanted situations, I have to work. Not the mantra, not the Dorje Sempa, not the powerful rituals, not the powerful the fire pujas. Of course, there are fire pujas, so-called for the purification. Dorje Sempa, yes, but Dorje Sempa and the 100-syllable need your help as well. If you read carefully those commentaries and the explanation of the rituals, how to apply, it has written there very clearly and precisely that one individual should need a work in the mind. Then you only recite this mantra. Then you only visualize these powerful deities. Then you only perform these rituals. There is a condition. There are conditions. The conditions are to be awake in our mind, to develop the bodhicitta, compassion, recognition of my own fault and mistake, forgiving myself and forgiving others. There are so many noble qualities that lie in the practice. Based on these qualities, one can develop and one can overcome and one can eliminate the defilements. So misunderstanding or misbelief that the powerful practice, the powerful ritual means I don't do anything and that these practice will do for me. That's totally wrong idea. Totally wrong idea. Powerful means cooperation. For the mutual benefit, first important practice is to awaken our mind. It's so easy to look at others, but it's so difficult to look inwards. My motivation. Even when we do practice in the morning, do your own session, do your own practice, do you do your prostration, or you do mandra, you do any practice, very seldom we examine our motivation. We just straightly get into or engaging in the practice right away without examining properly our motivation, our intention. Therefore, the practice goes up and down, on and off. So defining the karmic action is so important in everyday life. Of course, in Theravada tradition, the first lesson is to be scared with the karma. Yes, everybody is scared of karma. I'm sure most of us doing Dhamma practice because we are scared of the hell realm. We are scared of the hunger realm. We are scared of the animal realm. When we see the pictures of these, the draw on the wall or in the tanka, so you become very shaky, right? Your legs are shaking, and the arms are shaking, your heads are shaking, because of you are scared. So this is the teachings of the Theravada. We need it. This is the great lesson. Great lesson. Of course, the wrathful deities, peaceful deities, no longer existed truly there. But as a beginner, when we start our practice with the deity, and nobody tells you, oh, deities are not there, it's just your own imagination, now you do practice. Wouldn't say that. The master says, this wrathful deity will help you to overcome your obstacles. Manjushri will help you to increase your wisdom. Dorje Sempa practice will help you to decrease your negativities. Long life Buddha helps you to prolong your life. Isn't it? They tell you like that. Medicine Buddha, if you practice, your disease, your illness will go away. So, based on that belief, the dualistic belief, you do practice, it works. Because your mind is right now at the state of the dualistic mental attitude. I can't simply say everything is empty. No, I can't say this. I cannot say the green Tara is your mind mental projection. Green Tara is not there. Green Tara is in your mind, so you do practice the green Tara. Nobody would say that. Teaching should be performed to the level of practitioners. Because of this, we call systematic and a very rational process, the way you enter into the actualization. Karma is approach you in any manner is so sensitive. Karma is very sensitive and very open and very straightforward. Therefore, I'm happy with the karma and I'm appreciative with the karma and the coming action. Like as a practitioner, those great masters you see, when they are sick, in the past, the great masters, or they face the tragic event or problematics, what they say, it's my karma. I'm appreciate, I'm happy about that. More I suffer, more I believe in the karma. And the more I have a problem, I'm more enjoying. That's why my compassion is arising. And my loving kindness is arising towards sentient beings, how they are going through the suffering, pain, miseries, and unwanted circumstances. So that is something to do with wisdom, to be seen clearly the characteristic of the karma. It's not that something that I'm sick, but without definition, I say it's my karma. How do you know? It's your karma or accident. Could be accident. But when you say it's my karma, then that means you have seen the connection between your personality and the karma. Therefore, you are very sure it is the result of my previous karma. Because of this, then you want to apply more Dharma practice, more train your mind, more you are interested to work with your karma. We don't blame on the karma. That's why we appreciate with the karma, existence of the karma. So therefore, what I'm trying to tell you here is that not from my experience, but the knowledge of the karma, that the long-term examined or reflecting on it, each and every moment when you go through the pleasant or unpleasant situation regardless, I have to be appreciated with every action of the karma. the situation. If we do that, and slowly we are able to approach into the reality that is experience. Without experience, we just simply say, karma, karma, karma does not work. You even could not make connection with the knowledge and experience. Therefore, Kadampa Master says, the more you define, more you analyze, and the more you reflect on the karma, then the more your practice will be increased. And the more compassion will be arising, more loving kindness will be developed because of the power of your realization or actualization of the karmic characteristic. So this means it's our everyday life, not only with the practice, not only with your meditation. You could make an extensive and a profound connection with the sentient beings in the sense of understanding of the karma, and that I can share with you. Therefore, Kadampa Masters, long time back, like Dhammarakshita, when he sat on the throne and giving teaching, somebody hit the door outside there with a stone, but instead of that, the door felt the pain, the Dhammarakshita fell down from his throne. It is obvious that something really you could share emotionally with the others in the reality sense, not only imagination. Therefore, you could give joy, happiness, prosperity to others, and you can accept certain amount of the pain, the suffering from others. The wisdom, compassion, combination, inseparability of the compassion and wisdom. Not only wisdom. If you are unable to combine these two, and then we cannot work with these. So therefore, you see, the power of compassion, power of wisdom, inseparability of these two, one can really help. The temporary pain and the temporary suffering. But ultimate pain and suffering, one should respond, one responsible to the individual alone. But some certain degree of the benefit of those qualities you can experience. Right? So therefore karma is so interesting. Good things also, the bad things also, and the karma has the virtuous karma action, a non-virtuous action, and a neutral experience action also. But as I said, but whatever it is, for us now most important is to realize the connection between the karma and the emotion. It's so important. The karma connection to the emotion that is baseless, without reason, is our hatred, anger. So you have to see this. Ultimately, angers, hatreds, all these are no other than the Dhammadhatu itself, but for the time being, at the level of, as a beginner, one should not say like this. One should encourage others to reduce these clashes, the power of the clashes. Anger is no good. Anger should reduce. Anger should abandon. You should abandon anger. You should eliminate anger. Anger is no good. We have to blame on anger. That's the first. That's why, because of the teaching of the Theravada, Buddha has taught Four Noble Truths right after he enlightened. Right? He explained how powerful the cause of suffering and the pain, that is clashes. And he explained very precisely and how miserable the pain and the suffering of sentient beings. That's just after he enlightened. He didn't say everything is a mental projection, isn't it? He's supposed to say that because he realized it, but he didn't. This shows his own realization is not the point. The point here is how to help or benefit sentient beings skillfully. So methods are given, very precisely how to work with the karma. Without working with the karma, the practitioners cannot go directly combat to diminish or to expel the cause of the pain and the suffering. Right? So therefore, karma is the base, karma is faith, the karma helps you to be the fruitful. So desirable consequences you call liberation, right? It's from karma. We have to be free from the karma. Karma come from where? Karma come from confusion. Therefore, Nagarjuna says in his Madhyamika teaching, as long as you hold on to the 5 skandhas, then there is the hold on I, right? I, my, mine. As long as the holding onto I, then there is a karmic action, he said. Karmic action comes from holding sense of I firmly, then it produces the karmic action. Because of the karmic action, then it produces the rebirth in the samsara. Then the rebirth produces unwanted situations of sickness, aging, etc. Then these produce the death. And the death leads another rebirth. Then accumulate also confusions there. Then again you accumulate the negativities. And then rebirth. Then death. So this is what we call the cyclic existence. Unceasing cyclic existence. Who will help you to get rid of from this fundamental powerful ignorance? The wisdom only. What is wisdom? Can you define? The wisdom is nothing else than the opening your mind fully. Your mind is a titan, defiled, obscured by reasoning, by good intellect. You open up your mind fully. You have seen the truth of your own true existence, which you have not seen before because of the power of a dualistic mental attitude. Now, because of the training, well training of your mind and well examination, and first you're guarding your mind, then you tackle the root of the samsara, and then you have achieved the liberation. Therefore, these steps you have performed orderly, so we call you have achieved the ultimate freedom. That means enlightened. So, karma, you can see. The books are there. You can read the books. There are many theories also on the karma, subject of karma. Philosophically, you can explain something. And technically, you can explain something. Practically, you can explain something. There are different theories and a different ways where they explained. But sometimes these explanations will not help you to overcome or to realize the true existence of the karma. So that practically, as a teaching of Nagarjuna, as a teaching of Kadampa, so if you follow these teachings, it's simple, it's straightforward, and it's open, and easy to make connection. Most important is in daily life, it's nothing to do with the spiritual practice alone. It's nothing to do with your Dharma practice. Karma is a general subject. Individuals who wish to be liberated. Individuals who wish to be free from unwanted situation, then the karma is profound subject, how to deal with the karma, how to work with the karma. Therefore, I repeat from the teachings of the Kadampas, karma is the best subject for the practitioners to remind yourself, to make correction yourself. Karma is everywhere. It's like a shadow. It follows you everywhere. So only thing, how to work with the karma is with the mindfulness, the guarding. We are not to try to push away the karma or to eliminate karma. But at the beginning, what we do is we try to recognize the karma. The recognition is so important. Recognition. Failing the recognition, therefore, we are unable to engage in Dhamma properly. So recognition, every moment, every aspect of our life, in a daily life, the recognition is so important. Recognition comes from mindfulness. Being mindful, the recognition is always there. Being the mindfulness, mindfulness, then the fails the recognition. Therefore, as a Dhamma practitioner, and a serious Dhamma practitioner, when I say Dharma practitioner, it sounds quite strange, but you can say rather, if you really care yourself, if you really care for yourself, considering how to get freedom, then one should start our practice from the recognition of karma and working with the karma and to pay attention with the karma. It helps us. Therefore, karma is agent. It involves entire the way of life and every aspect of your life, every movement of your life. You do non-virtuous action, you do the virtuous action, or you do the neutral action. Whatever action you do, the karma is always there. So therefore, so that's the general introduction of karma and how to work with the karma. I just simply explained. I cannot tell you more than that, because if I tell you more than that means I have fully realized the subject of karma, or I experience completely the karma, but I'm still struggling with the karmic subject. So therefore I cannot really definitively explain so confirm you this and that, but logically, practically, and technically, how do you define the karma and how to work with the karma, that is something that I share with you from the teachings of the Kadampa. And the next, if you really want to become a good practitioner, then you should emphasize the subject of karma, because of this first message from the Buddha after he enlightened. His first message is the Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths is very much based on the message of the karma and the result. It's so profound. More you examine and the more you analyze the karma and the mechanism of the karma and its action, then the more the noble qualities will be developed. Compassion, loving kindness, wisdom, everything based on the karma action. So therefore, Kadampas masters always emphasize on the practice of the karma and the karmic action. Okay? Any question?